Welcome to the Demon Venue. I'm not going to say good morning, good evening, good night again, as is our customary greeting in the little world of darkness. We are there, of course, but this is the underside of it, the dark belly, the belly of the beast, the one where the dead go. It's been some time now since the four lords of death, the self-styled lords, have met for their Landsraad meeting, each individually having their own power and power bases and their own castles within the New York City boroughs. They have a state of cold war with the other four in total, but two new developments have forced them together again in this loose union. An unknown terror in the north, domes which are appearing and disappearing in the landscape of the underworld that are impenetrable by the wraithly armies, and the angels of death. It was missives and requests and runners that came to and fro between the citadel that you see pictured here and the stronghold fortress in the east and what used to be called Sanctuary. An angel of death now approaches the citadel, and much reverence is given to him. They have no idea how powerful he is, but they know and fear him for what he is. The honor guard stand to attention outside the citadel and lining the halls as you enter, wearing composite of armor, Cherokee and Native American Indian sort of headgear, hatchets and tomahawks. They're also lining the walls with muskets, rifles and M16s, a product of all the weaponry of the United States that has stood time immemorial, 400 years, 500 years perhaps, even longer. Maybe some knocking around in New York City now, serving as generals and captains of these four of the Landsraad, who rub shoulders with the Spanish conquistadors that have ended up in this hell, shall we say. The chamber that the four Landsraad reside in is circular. Four pillars hold up a domed ceiling, looking out into the grey dusk. Four chairs, all identical, all equidistant, and all raised on daises. So each of the four lords sit shoulder to shoulder around this central hall, looking down on a central point in the audience, but beneath them. All for show and psychology, and none of the four would ever want to have to sit beneath or below somebody. I shall introduce you to the four now. Let's see, Austin. Let's start with your character, his name, and what he does.
This happens to be Lord Demir. Lord Demir has the golden mask. He prides himself on the accumulation of wealth. At one point in time, he was gold obsessed. In life, he prided himself again on being wealthy and driving others to continue to build up his wealth. This has not changed since he has died. He lords over his subjects and expects them to pay taxes unto him. But these taxes in this existence happen to be one of memory. It does not matter what kind of memory, just so long as the taxes are paid and the wealth continues to accumulate. The hoard, it must grow.
Kian.
Maviv of House Raifi. I deal in such sensations which will make you purr. With the wand of a dead being as much it is, eternity is at our feet. And what do you find of interest? What do you do with eternity? Do you stand in dullness, in the grey, or do you luxuriate in the pleasures that one can find?
Trent.
Give up. Just surrender. The inevitability, the finality, everything built up will fall and crumble. This is the mask of Lady Archibald, the mistress, the courtisans, the temptation, the allure, her to just end it all the struggle, all the worry. Lay those tiny razors across your forearms and just surrender.
Major General Raros here. Sword and Shield of New York City. I command the strongest legions of the dead. I know all tactics, from the swarm to the air cavalry assault. I love that smell of napalm in the morning, or feel the skulls of my enemies beneath, crushed in my hands. The four have gathered. Hagi, describe yourself.
As in the picture, bookkeeper, as he is known, is cloaked in shrouds of shadow and darkness in general, something that is hard to pierce even for immortal eyes, and gifts of such nature, cloak of shadows. He is leaving no trace on his passage. There is no smell, there is no scent left behind, there are no traces or anything of that sort. He might as well be floating as far as that goes. The bony wings that occasionally spread out, mere bones with the darkness played between them to act as the material for which the wings carry in here, or perhaps in other worlds as well. The one permanent feature coming from under the cowl are two very, well, remarkable horns, and he has something of a aura of cold and dread about him in this form. Unfortunately, no, he's not carrying a scythe, especially to such an august meeting. If you need weapons here, he thinks weapons shouldn't be a main concern for anybody who is planning to discuss with the Landsraad as an equal or along those lines. And once he walks to the area, he'll give a short look and a flex of his wings to raise his head to the equal level with the singular members of Landsraad.
And what brings you to this court? Master Bookkeeper.
Well, this court, from what I hear, consists of remarkable individuals. Individuals who hold a portion of the lands.
Flattery. Flattery will get you everywhere. Continue.
No flattery, mere statement of fact and intent. Now, I am recognizing the possibility of this gathering and the individuals within it to be a concern for even being of my nature. And as such, I would prefer not to waste resources where discussion and cooperation can benefit all.
A most wise leader. For I would say that even though with our forces being victorious against you in any kind of armed conflict, we would still take heavy losses from what you have to field on the battle.
Put it quite simply, the Horde would suffer. It would be much, much, much too costly.
But the screams and the delightful ecstasy of watching it. No, it may not be worth it. There are other ways to get what I seek.
Surrender. 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 Surrender.
We may talk like this in circles, but Master Bookkeeper, you have business to present to us, a proposal. Please, you have the floor.
Thank you, respected Landsraad. I will keep this to the point. We can test our strengths against each other, and no matter who rises to the top and wins, the threat to the north will win over our weakened position, even if we are victorious against each other. And as I see wisdom, as you have clearly shown that you see as well, I would like the Landsraad to recognize me as a fifth member.
You would sit, side, same level, surrender, give up identity. Then we talk.
As a member, you would have, of course, responsibilities. Ones one cannot shirk from. And one must make sure that in such dealings one does not step on another's footsteps, shall we say. Brokers go one way, whores come another.
Your army is formidable, but maybe they lack training. How I would drive those hosts of that filth in the north to death. Get them in the rat holes, burn them out, send P-51s overhead to drop bombs on them, run them down with cavalry, burn the gooks, burn the gooks, burn the fucking gooks.
Push them off their little stability. The little thing in their mind that keeps all the little pieces together. Push it. Keep pushing it. Push it till it falls off the table and shatters.
I look to the other members of this little organization. We have given up quite a lot. We have paid for certain rights and privileges. In fact, we continue to keep paying. That with the taxes, that into the treasury, that into the gold. Master Bookkeeper, should you claim membership equal to us, equal in station, you too will be subject to these taxes.
I understand the individual nature and the need for a unified force to also have a unified coffers, if you will. However, as each of you brings your own unique talent to the Landsraad, while equal, different from each other, I would bring something unique to the Landsraad as well.
And what form might I see this talent?
Well, quite simply this. I will consider the Landsraad to be the mediating influence in the area of New York for any and all disputes brought before it, and that will, in my opinion, include any other supernaturals who happen to tread upon any toes within the Landsraad.
Other, brother, mother. Identify.
Well, it's no great secret that there are wolves and vampires and such on the other side, and that they occasionally see fit to travel into lands we call our own. And while members of this Landsraad certainly have little personal concern on those sides, they do occasionally cause some serious upheaval in the area. I would offer to be the person to be the first person to explain to them that they have offended Landsraad and they should seek to make compensations.
Little ants. Little ants, filling little mound, so far beneath notice. Hand me my magnifying glass. If you can keep your ant farm, so.
They are nothing. If they come to this place and they do not respect our laws, then we shall cut them down.
That being said, if they do respect our tradition and they have plenty of coin to spend, then their business would be most welcome if they contribute to the Horde. If they contribute the gold.
A simple question of enforcing the Landsraad's authority over such possible trespasses. Usually these things are below, I imagine, the notice of all in this gathering, except for what little they may bring with them. However, I have already had to clear out an area of very concerning influence.
Well, mm, mm, well,
Community of Steel, those are currently within my lands, and as such I do not believe I have stepped on the Landsraad's toes in that.
One, one, one little sinkhole, one little sinkhole, one little man, and steps inside, sinks in the clean sand, and struggles, almost never comes out again. It's such a tiny little hole. You should
And
have
now
just
there's a lake.
given up.
Talk of holes. I remember taking my unit down one once. We were stationed there, hunting down them after the Tet. And oh my god, did we find some good knife work down those holes. I think we got the forces for it. But I respect your power. But you speak like Eisenhower. Empty promises so far. Shoulda, coulda, wouldas. No. Power is all I want.
What would the what would you have of me to recognize me as your equal and ask to solve this diplomatically?
Have your forces swear allegiance to me. And I will.
Never. My forces are mine.
Ticker, 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 tot. Perhaps some more, something. Give us something behind your mask that's there down below. Yes, like I said before, give up! Give up! Give up! Your identity. Just a little bit. If you gave it all, it'd be no more fun. Then maybe a non-aggression pact.
Should you wishly, truly accept the responsibilities of each of four of us, and I expect that your balance and your bookkeeping to be superb, and I expect the gold to come rolling through.
is one thing, but wisdom is another. Evidence must be seen. You look after your own lands as one would expect. This stands well. Not having troubles bleed through like soft drops in the rain. It's always a pleasure to see.
Are we still thinking about that box again? And that sweet, sweet box. The box that goes places that no one wants to revisit.
The one with the holes in it. Yeah.
The seeping, the pillory calls. Well, eventually it calls for everyone.
Yes, it does call for everyone. And every time it calls, it exacts a price from all of us. General, you make mention about how strong your armies are, but each time you bring yourself to one of those holes, it costs us even more. Any war costs.
Bah! Cost is nothing. Just think of the glory and honor that you'll win. Scalps that you'll take, the lands that you would have. Then you can tax them to what you will. Don't tell me about cost. You weren't there on the line. You weren't there to see your friends burn and die. Always down to money.
When there is nothing in the mind, when you exhaust the oil, when you exhaust the gold mine, there is nothing left to take back.
Wah. Maybe we should tax our people to death then, shall we? Maybe we should break them up on the wheel and have them pay in their own souls. Just to fill your coffers.
Surrender!
Oh, shut up, you stupid whore. Always surrender, always crazy holes with you. Well, here's a hole for you now. Glory hole. There you go, I said it.
One day, even your strength will fall. Your muscles will weaken. Your tendrils shall fade. And then you will, like everyone else, be as powerless as. And then someone else will take your place. And I will laugh.
Maybe so. But even if with no power, I can still have strength to make you suck me off, bitch!
And you wonder where that knife in the bag came from.
Please, gentlemen, do continue. I love the imagery.
Always the voyeur, isn't she?
Perhaps I can make a suggestion to the Landsraad that will have equal support from all members and see to needs of each. There are areas in New York, if you will call the area such, that are very, very rich in spectres. That can be turned. There is no need to break them on a rack. No need to waste a soldier to get the steel. You just take a barbarian, a brute, and hammer them into what you need for your army. That is the coin of the realm, put to good use. A little war for the sword and the shield, with myself and yourself driving the small portion of our units there. The coffers will benefit from us bringing back the spoils. And should someone wish to sample memories or experiences from those we bring back before they are hammered into shape, well, I would imagine that would suffice everyone in the Landsraad and strengthen the horde for the enemy in the north.
So you bring the souls marching 2 by 2 and push them through the ringer. Each ounce of worth divided to the worthy, yourself included, naturally. Where are these lands within this city you wish to begin your deeds? Silence always comes.
Surrender.
All right. And once the Landsraad confirms my full, unquestioned membership, I will share with all the members of the Landsraad a name of power, but only with the members of Landsraad, not your units, not your troops, and not your coins. You will be the only souls in the Shadowlands to know that name. And there ain't a man alive who knows it.
So you would give to us our due and give to us a word of trust, a word of sanctity. One without word is without integrity and can rarely be dealt with. One willing to place one's words on the table, naked, bare, and vulnerable. One can deal with such people.
Give us, give us, give us a little behind the mask. So you have to come to us. You have to come to us and destroy us to get it back. This I will accept.
You're promising us with this proposal a minimal investment, maybe a few men and a donkey, and you propose to bring us back the entire mountain. So be it. If there is little risk and great reward, this is proper business.
If I can stand on the field again and feel the sword in my hands, if I can call down artillery strikes, if I can go in the warrens and do some good knife work, then I'm happy. But I want to see those tanks rolling over the horizon. I want to see the armies at my back and at my side. That's what gets me hard. Not words, not money, but power. And yes, House Wraithy, I did say get me hard. You know what's my jam. You dirty bastard, you. Woof.
Jam and cream goes together nicely. I tend to find.
Take and take and take. Take all they surrender. Every inch. Every landscape of the flesh. That is what you take. That is what you take. That is what is surrendered. That is what you take.
Don't worry. I'll give you every inch. Ruff.
So you sit beside us, and the city becomes stronger. Stability continues much as it is now. No wars be necessary, no productivity lost. But productivity gained is what you offer. Yes, my pretties. We can hear the machines working today. I can hear them twist and turn and fly.
I take it we are in accord then?
To each its own. To Caesar, Caesar's. To Caesar, Caesar's, Caesar's. And to who all the masks is given and what is taken.
This is a accord so long as I see the mountain come back to me. Your proposal, I will accept.
War is coming. Therefore, if this is what you give, without betrayal, then I accept.
Always again with concepts of war. Enemies come and go. I see no enemy. Unless you wish to choose one yourself. Perhaps we can find a new place to find more exquisite features with your joining us. A new place to ravage and enhance ourselves. Yes.
After war comes the little dirty secrets. After war comes the classified documents. After war comes the men in top hats and black shades that clean it all up. But they always leave something behind because they always surrender.
Our armies combined. I have a new target for us. Did you see the flashes in the sky to the east? Someone nuked Stygia. Let's take that fucking place from them. If this one is powerful as we all think he is. Let's march on Stygia, shall we? There's an enemy for us that's worthy of a fight.
The Dark Kingdom. Mm. Cost.
Appropriate target, appropriate time.
And a test. A wonderful test. Such treasures shall we find. Such simple little treasures. Such memories we shall make. A new chair shall have to be built.
Yes, equal as all the rest. Placed here in this tower.
Pentagram, pentagram, pentagram.
And you'll come when we call, won't you, Angel of Death?
Not as a dog would, but as one who respects his equals and recognizes that they would not call one for needless reasons.
And likewise, attendance shall be given, if called from oneself. The Landsraad must remain united and strong in this new world of temptation.
Another coil of the snake, and thus we surrender, surrender, surrender. Another coil of the snake.
And on those grounds, if any of my kind gives any of the offense, allow me to know first, and I will seek to set them straight.
Understood, equal.
You've got your accord.
I thank you for your time.
And with that, I believe, some parting words for each of the four of the other Landsraad before I outro.
Very well. There is a saying that things will always be as such, that being of death and taxes. And this is a principal statement of the entire universe. There will always be death, and there will always be taxes to be paid.
House Wraithy?
Walk by the Spirit, and you will not gratify the desires of flesh. How simply wrong they were. How much delight I would have seemed to have seen their mistake upon their face.
House Archibald?
Will you walk into my parlor, set the spire to the fly? 'Tis the prettiest little parlor that you who may ever spy. The way into my parlor is up to a stair, and I have made these certain things to show you when you are there.
Power and strength united. Happiness now. The legions grow strong. Stronger than they were on the Tet Offensive, or when they crushed the tribes of Native American Indians beneath their jackboots, or when they send those soldiers across the seas to die in fields in Europe. So shall war again come to this underworld realm. And we shall now take our scene from this place. Again, no good morrow, good evening, or good night from us, for this is the realm and a world of darkness. There's much work afoot for the end of the days. Goodbye.